Okay, everyone. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out the best angle to videotape this thing since it's so long, but you know. So it's been drying. I kind of kept it under my mat here, like underneath, to get some pressure on it. So there's the front flap and all the way back around to the front again. And so what we're gonna do now is, again, kind of train it a little bit. So starting here, you can kind of feel where that next spot's supposed to be. And I probably should have done this, to be honest, when the glue was still a little bit wet, because now I'm having a little bit of bubbling, but that's okay. As you can see. So what I'm going to do is kind of push it in where I feel that. That way it knows to go in there and not popping out, okay? So just kind of feel to where your next crease should be and kind of push your paper into that spot. And what's good about the front and the back are these bigger panels is that they're going to be covered anyway, so it's not that big a deal. But that's kind of where, when you're gluing, you really want to make sure, like with a glue stick, to get every single inch of your paper. So here we are, again, the box. I think I showed it to you in the last time that there it is, but now it's lined. And I'm just trying to think if the best thing would be to decorate this now when it's flat, or just to go ahead and go for it. So I'm gonna go ahead and go for it because I want to show you guys how to finish this up. So now we have our box, and then we have our assembly, right? The thing that we had put together for the accordion, for the inside of the box. And basically what you're gonna do, how I did mine, is I put this to face towards the back. Only because that's the last page and you're not gonna see that there's an opening here so much. If that really bothers you, what you can do is just put another piece of brown paper in between there to kind of close the gap or whatever. And then this front one is gonna stick here, okay? So when you open it, you have that same, like I've been showing you. Now, this for me is ATG time, because it's going to be pulling open, it's going to have to be held that way. But like I said, I don't have much, if any. I don't think I have any on this thing, but I'll look. So what you're going to do is a couple things. How do I best describe this? Okay, see where all these little, the 1 3/4 inch flaps end? That's basically where you're going to line up your glue. I kind of did it that way so that way they all look the same, instead of, let me show you on this one. Instead of having this one go all the way to the tip and be glued down all the way, I did so that they all look the same, you know, they all have that same gap. So what you're going to do is kind of feel that out. It's about right here. And take your ATG and just run it straight down. And on the other side too. And I ran it across the top from that little gap, just where you're putting your ATG, along the bottom, and then some more kind of in the middle. You really want this to be adhered really super well. And so what you're gonna do is take your base. Again, this is the very front long side. This is your base right here, and this is your back side, right, with the flap. Okay, so you're gonna stick it to the front. So what you're gonna do is, I like mine touching the bottom of the, touching the base. If you want it up a little bit higher, you can do that, but there's no need for that, and it looks better when it's just all the way down. So what you're gonna do is basically kind of bring it in and center it, because this is gonna be 5 inches wide. Your black cover here is 5 inches wide, so you're just gonna make sure that that's, you know, centered within there, so that they're kind of lined up, and then just squeeze it down. And I'm gonna lay it down flat now. And I don't know where my bone folder is, so I'm just going to use the back of this glue and just make sure that that is really nice and adhered. You really want to push down there, okay? Across the top. If you wanted to, before this step, if you wanted to cut little grooves in here, like with a circle punch, a half circle, you know, you can do that just for an added cuteness, but I'm okay right now. I just left it the way it is. So now again, we're also going to put ATG on these last two flaps, just like we did when we stacked them up on top of each other, right? Well, I used a different glue, but since I have a little ATG left, I'm going to use that because I really want it to be durable. And on this one, you can go a little further out, or however, whatever you think is what you need for it to be especially sturdy, okay? And then you're going to bring this guy up. Sorry, this side. This is your very back. And this is where it gets not tricky, but you're going to have to bring it close to here. If you can see that. And what I do is I'm going to hold it kind of flat. I have my fingers in the ridge here and the other ridge over here. And I'm going to make sure it's lined up before I press real hard. Okay? I hope you were able to see that. It was kind of hard for me to to show. I have something over here. And you can kind of go in there. I'm kind of getting my bone folder in there. See how that one side didn't quite stay? And I'm going to stick that down real well and make sure that happens with the other side too. So this takes a little finessing also. Sorry, keeps closing up. And I just want to make sure that's okay at the bottom. Okay, and if it laying it down helps, do that. However you need to get it so that you can get your hand in there to lay this down flat. And I think that's probably the better option if I should do that to begin with, but it's hard to see. So now I can stick my whole hand in here and really smooth it out. If you don't think one little strip of ATG on the side is going to do it, then put two really close to each other and get that back sealed up real nice and tight. Okay, so now there is your accordion album. Check it out. So like I said, if you feel that that's not going to hold it, which it's holding it pretty good, do two, do more. If you want to completely stick it down, that's up to you, but you're going to lose some of the elasticity as far as being able to put more pictures than, you know, or more of whatever you want to put in here. I'm getting a lot of cool messages from you guys. Thank you so much. Like, oh, this will be good for, you know, things other than pictures, recipes. One gal said her sewing patterns. That'd be really nice. You just got to make it a little bit wider, I think. It'd be perfect. So, I mean, there it is, guys. So what I'm going to do is, with this front piece, is if your little leftover piece that you have from your 12 by 12 that you had cut is wide enough, and you can get your, whatever you want to use for this piece here to be your closure, use it. If not, then you're going to have to probably get another piece of chipboard to bring out to use that. Like this is just a little bit too small, but I do have some left over from the other day from a different project I'll be using. But you still are going to need these leftover pieces, okay, to make a space between the background and your closure, okay? Because when you slip it in here, you're going to need something at least twice as thick as of the chipboard to be able to slide it in, okay? So we're going to be using those pieces anyway. But for right now, you know, I was going through my stuff. I mean, you can use any Sizzix or whatever's going to cut chipboard the nicest. Even on the edge die, if you have just a little piece of square, but you want to make it kind of cute, to cut the little scallop off of it. Cut a flower shape. I mean, if you wanted to use that. Whatever it is you want to use. I'm going to use this Tim Holtz styled labels. And I think the last time I used this one on that last project, but this one's kind of a little bit more cryptic looking, kind of scary looking, so I think this will be fun for this style album that I just made. And there's a piece that from the other day that I just had left over. So I'm probably going to use this, and I'm just going to cut it down a little bit and run that through my Cuttlebug. And you also have to cut pattern paper or something that you want to layer over that, or cardstock or whatever it is. If you're gonna, you know, make a different kind of little label, then you probably want cardstock so you can do what you want. I'm just gonna use pattern paper. So hopefully I'll run that through. And here's my little piece that's gonna end up being my closure. And let me choose just another piece of paper. I'm looking at the style of my box and I don't know what I want to put there. You know, I'll go with this. Why not? It's a little bit busy, but we can use that. The paper that I had cut up originally. And I'll take a little piece of that. And that might actually end up being... I see how I want to line this up, sorry. I'm trying to make some choices here. Oops. Okay. And we are almost done. First, you know what it was? Is that sewing that I had to go get ready, and it took so long, and it takes a little bit longer than you think. Okay. So that's cute, the way I cut that little part that had the trees and things, and I think I'll use that side. I was going to use this side, but I think it's going to be too busy, so I'll use this, and then I'm going to add some like flowers, some black flowers or something cool like that to go kind of around there. So I just want to line this up, make sure everything's set the way I like it. Looks good. And again, oh, this guy's coming. I like this liquid glass because it dries very fast. But I want to go all the way to the edges, making sure all that's gonna get sealed in real nice. And I'll cross the body of that. And like I said, if you have something else you like to use, especially a glue stick or something like that, that'd be better. But this is gonna work just fine. I'm gonna push the glue out towards the edges, and then I'll also push whatever air that might be under there out towards the edges, because you want to get it out of there. And it's a little bit off. Let me fudge with that a little bit more. Okay, so I just put a lot of glue on there. I didn't mean to, but there we are. And then before I stick that down, I'm going to take that and my black ink, and I'm going to do a little distressing around the edges. And I want to use the black ink because it has like that Halloween theme, and use whatever color you'd like or whatever you want to do on yours. It's a different theme. Okay, sorry about that. Let me close up just a bit, because what you're going to do with the little bits that you have left over are cut like 2 pieces that are going to fit behind this thing. And not too big, because for me, I wanted to stack them in a way that it's not real visible if they're back there, okay? So I'm just cutting 2 pieces of this chipboard, and that's gonna make it 2 thicknesses. And what I'm gonna do is glue them together. Again, ATG or whatever you wanna use, I'll use this to stick them together for now. And you're gonna try to stick them perfectly together. This is just a little strip that was left over on my paper when I cut the 5.5 by 6.5 inch pieces. It had left like a little 1 inch piece. That's what this is. And then ATG or liquid glass, whatever it is that you want to use, I'm going to put more on here. Like a whole lot. If you want to use hot glue, that's up to you. Whatever it is that you think is going to hold the best, because this is what's going to hold your box closed. And you kind of want to line it up just right in the middle of your piece, okay? I don't want to do this too quickly. I would give this all time to dry. If you're using ATG, it doesn't need time to dry, of course. But what you're going to do after this is bring your box over. This is my top flap. I am so happy with the way this came out. Let me back up just a little bit. It's a fun project. I mean, it doesn't take too long, right? But so butt it up so that, you know, if it was closed, it would be just like this. And then I'm going to have this little piece here. Now, if that's not enough, the 2 pieces that you put, add a 3rd piece. I think it should be okay. The thing is, I had added that last piece of cardstock, and the cardstock is a little bit thicker than I like. So let me add 1 more piece of the, what's that called? Chipboard. I just eyeballed that, not too bad. And again, if your chipboard's really thick, you're gonna also add, you know, the same amount, like 2 or 3 thicknesses of it. Okay, here's another one. I'm gonna let that dry a little bit. And basically, once this dries, you're gonna glue it down in the direction that you want it. I want it to be up this way. And that should be better. You want it to be kind of comfortable. It's far away enough that you can tuck this in without it kind of pulling away from your box. You don't really want too much of that. And then as you kind of looking to the side, you're going to be able to see kind of where you need to stick this down so that this flap can tuck in right behind it. And then that's where you're going to glue it down. So let me see if that was there. I'm going to see as far as how much, about that much. Okay, so I'm kind of eyeballing that, and I'm going to try to keep it there as much as I can. And it's pretty much right here is where it was. So I'm going to place my glue. I'll probably do the rest of the embellishing if I do any more off camera, because it's getting late in the day. I want to post this, and my kids are going to be getting home from school, or my son is, and my other one's already awake. So just kind of center it again. I kept my finger where it was, so I kind of know as far as that. And I'm going to let that dry, and your box is good to go. If you were going to put a tag or a label for sure put it there, some little flowers like I'll probably end up doing, and we're all done. So thanks for watching, and I hope you guys liked the tutorial, and I will have some still pictures for you right after this.